What's going on, bro? My name is Sam Walford. Hello, I'm a 16-year-old dropout entrepreneur from Coventry in the United Kingdom. And I'm not actually there yet, but I'm very, very close to basically making my first 10K month. Technically I'm there if you like look between months, but like as one individual calendar month, I'm not there, but I did like 8.5K in December. And in January, if the sale goes through, hopefully today, then I'll be at basically 9K. But what I'm saying is, I make money, okay, with coaching, and this isn't me trying to be flexy or whatever. This is my fucking unfiltered journal channel, bro. So I'm not gonna fucking credibility max on you and give you 5 reasons you should do fucking nofap coaching. But um, yeah, I really feel like I've just fucking figured out this whole space. Not the thing is, like, I figured out how to make money for myself. Like, I figured out the sales and how to do offers, and like when I say the best ways, obviously you can always like make slight improvements, but like on the macro level of what actually you do and how the info space works and how a beginner should do it, I really fucking feel like I've got the macro figured out. As in, like, I'm in the right like region. Not saying I'm like level 100 with sales skill and level 100 with all these other little shit, but it's like I've got the meta figured out, you know. I've got the meta figured out. I'm not necessarily level 100 at all the skills the meta requires, but I've got the meta figured out. And it's like, I'm making a load of money. And for the longest time as well, when I was doing this, and like, because basically what I do is I help other young guys, most of whom are pretty retarded, who have been on self-improvement or improve their fitness or something like that, and I help them basically to start coaching based upon like the improvement they've made in their life. Um, and what I came to realize is this is a very, very hard niche. It's an easy niche to sell, very hard niche to deliver in for young guys who are beginners. And when I say it's an easy niche to sell, like you have to keep it relatively low ticket at like 1K. But like now I'm scaling up into like group coaching and shit, and so that's sort of fine because then it's not too much delivery time. You know, I'm scaling up in volume, but the thing is, I really feel like I've just figured out the whole delivery side of things for these like young guys, because the thing with this, and this gives me fucking like chill shivers speaking about this, because I'm just so excited. The thing with this info industry is all the advice everybody gives you is charge higher prices, help better people, climb up the ladder of who you're helping. And a lot of people really like, oh, I'm gonna start helping busy guys in 9 to 5s, you know, when they've never worked a 9 to 5, and then I start charging 3K when, like, you know, they've never even got the first sale in the first place. And yes, charge high prices. Like I charge 1K for my like basically flagship offer. And that's like no secret or anything like, and that's like, to me now, like making a 1K sale, it's just like, yeah, whatever, just another, and that sounds so fucking sad, like, but it's not that much to me anymore. Like before it was like, yo, this is so much, but now it's really not that much because like I'm scaling up, and it's like now I'm charging much higher prices for like one-on-one mentorship now. And that's that sale I said would hopefully be coming through today. But it's like I just don't let them. The money doesn't affect me too much anymore, and so now the main thing for me is just the delivery. And the point I was going to make is, for the longest time helping these young guys, my delivery was just like lacking behind in a way, which wasn't really a constraint for my business. Because when you're at just like a couple K a month and you're just getting sales, what matters much more is just your like individual sales skill, you know, compared to the actual delivery side of it. And so like my delivery, I wasn't scamming people by any means. Like everyone who was sold, I knew I could help if they stayed consistent and locked in. But the thing is, my success rates weren't actually the greatest, because a lot of people would like just drop off and fall off, you know, and stop taking action. And that's just like naturally how coaching is, but that's also a problem you need to solve yourself as the coach. And so the point I'm making here is like I finally feel I figured out this sort of delivery shit, bro, and actually like helping people, helping these young retards to make money. Um, because like I said, everybody else is focused on charging higher prices for better people, climbing up the ladder that way. And obviously you got the whole mindset of when they zig, you zag, and it sounds so backwards, but for me, scaling up, like most people will just like work with better people and charge higher prices. And like to a degree, I've naturally like started doing that. Like I've naturally just been starting to work with better people, just naturally, you know, as I get better. Because then those people listen to you more when you outreach, and you know they become your priority clients in a way. But at the same time, it's like I kind of realize that I fucking like love helping these young beginner guys. You know, like they are exactly me, and I don't want to just become this disillusioned guy who's climbing the salmon ladder and he's just one of those coaches who coach coaches who coach coaches who coach coaches, and I'm just like in the midst of the info industry of just like basically the info trickle down is what it is. I don't want to be just like another step in there. Like I want to obviously amount to something greater, amount to something bigger, amount to something outside just the info industry in the greater world. And my greater dream, my greater vision has not always been, but for the longest time has been to eventually reform the UK education system and maybe eventually worldwide too. And it's like I'm just thinking, okay, so for doing that, what do I need? What skills do I need? Well, obviously I need to get into politics and that sort of shit. So I'm gonna need influence. Okay, but like, what sort of influence am I going to need to be able to get into politics for specifically with the like the not the niche but like the aspect of education and everything? Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? Like this online info space is slowly starting to replace the actual physical education. I mean, just look at me. I've dropped out of school and I'm now learning from like online school mentors for business and shit. And so it's like, okay, well, this info industry is slowly going to be replacing, or at least influencing heavily, the traditional education system eventually, because obviously people will naturally move towards what's right. And that's why so many people nowadays are dropping out and doing like other online courses and shit, because they're just better, obviously. And the traditional system is now dying and not working as well. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm right now doing what I need to like be in the right area to eventually, influence the education system in the future. But like, what specifically within the info space? Because I'm in the info space. What specifically, like within the info space, do I need to be doing? Now, with me scaling up, it's like there's two paths. I can either go at it with a path of like increase prices, keep delivery the same and just work with better people, basically. And that's how most people go, because that's the best way to make more money. Because for me, instead of charging 1K for my mentorship, I could just start charging 3K, which I was actually planning on doing. Like charging, just basically upping my price. Like, what? Okay, instead of 3 months of mentorship for 1K, 3 months of mentorship for 3K. Charge high prices, get less clients, but probably make more money. And then it'd be like, yeah, okay, and then increase prices to 5K. And instead of the goal of being making to your first 1,000, they'd be making like 3,000 a month maybe with that goal. And then I slowly like go up, and it's like I charge 10K to help them make 5K a month. Then I end up like charging like, I don't know, 25K to help you make your first 10K a month. And I'm still only working with like a couple of people at a time, because I'm charging such high prices. I make more, and that's how I sort of scale up. Now that's how most people go, because that's the easiest way to do it. You just climb the salmon ladder. But for me, it's like, because I want to have the greater influence on the world. I don't just want more money, because I'm seeing this with myself now, and this isn't like a fucking, oh, humble, I don't care about money, because I do want more money. I do care about money. But really, like I said, bro, making another $1,000 sale for me, it doesn't spike my dopamine anymore. Like, I live a comfortable life where I've got money saved up. It's like I'm gonna start like buying my own food, so I like only eat steaks. I've got the new iPhone and the MacBook, and I've got the money to go traveling when I want to. It's like I'm making enough now where it's like I'm well out of survival mode and I'm just comfortable. Like for me, making another $5,000, $10,000 a month, yes, it's gonna help a good bit. That's doubling my income, but doing that is not gonna make that much of a change in my life. The biggest change in my life was literally just getting to like $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month where I am now. Like even just 2K a month, bro, that just opens up so much shit to do. 2K is like a bit tight though. Like 3K a month, I guess, is probably enough, but I sort of like buzzed between like 2K to 10K like within a week. So I haven't really experienced that. But basically the point I'm making, for me, making more money don't really matter. And so it's like prioritizing the thing that makes the most money for me, it doesn't really make sense. And so I want to be like, the biggest thing that makes me happy now and makes me feel better is just like building and influencing people and actually helping people. And I think influencing and inspiring, is really like the main thing for me, like helping people. And I'm really like creating that influence, and giving me that power to then help people, because, something that really pisses me off in this space, and this isn't like something bad. This is just like normal, healthy competition. But not pisses me off, but like I don't know, not triggers me, but like it hits something inside of me. is when it's like there's someone who's been following, my teachings, and then they stop following me because my stuff hasn't been working for them, and they go start following someone else, and that also doesn't work for them. Or maybe, to be fair, sometimes it does. But when they stop following me because my stuff doesn't work, and obviously my teachings and everything, they're not going to work for everybody instantly. They will work for everybody eventually, which I'll get onto soon. But it's really like, yeah, it just annoys me when, people like leave you because it feels like just like betraying your tribe in a way, because we've got a really good community, really strong community. That's another thing I love. And so for me, my main goal right now, in a weird way, is just to like have the biggest influence and help. Not have, so it's just how they have the biggest influence. And the best way to have the biggest influence is obviously to help the most people. And the thing is, like, I want to eventually reform the education system, so you might see where I'm going. So my skills need to basically be in helping complete retarded beginners, people who aren't super skilled, but people who are just sort of at these beginning levels, normal people in a way, and helping them at volume, at mass, That's where my skills will need to be in the education system. And so for while I'm still currently in the info space, like the online education system, that's what I should probably prioritize my skills for doing, not just for like super high ticket sales, You see where I'm going? Because the other thing is, bro, I feel I'm getting like weirdly fucking good at helping beginners, and it is so like, what the fuck? How have I unlocked this skill? Because the thing is, like I said, everybody's just focusing on helping the better people. All the best programs in the info industry are like close to $10,000. Many of them are above that, and they're all helping people who are already at minimum at like 5K a month. I guess at minimum you need to be to get into these really good programs. Whereas like that helps you get to the ceiling. But for these beginners and everything, for the guys who haven't made anything or have just made a couple $100, primarily for the guys who haven't made anything at all, it's like, well, where did they go? What did they learn from? And I've looked at this myself, bro, because you look at Charlie Morgan's program, which is like, that's like 6K, I believe, and that's literally just like, that's his cheapest one, that's a video course. You look at Andrew Kirby's program, that's 7K, but I believe they're now increasing prices to like 10K, which is crazy. And that's like partially video course, partially mentorship. And I mean, obviously that's more expensive. And then there's like Max Persin's course, which I'm not too sure of the price of, but again, that's a video course, And the thing is, obviously, you need to get to that point when you scale up. But these things are all they're for people who are already making good money, or who have a lot of capital ready to invest and ready to risk, to actually make the shit work. For these young guys, okay, who, by the way, there are so many of them, okay. They're beginners, they've got a bit of money saved up probably, so they can afford like a low ticket to mid ticket offer, I guess. And there's no one that can fucking help them. Like, I just see that as a gold mine just sitting there. Like, if I can specialize in helping these beginners, which if nobody else can do, by the way, if no one else can physically help these beginners at scale, then that's just a fucking gold mine for me, because all these beginners, who aren't making much, I'm the one who helps them. And then guess what? If I'm the only person who specializes in helping beginners, I help some of those beginners to go up to like the mid-levels, yeah. Who are they going to buy off to go from mid-level to high-level, okay? Who are they going to buy off when they've got 10K saved up? They're at 3K a month and they want to get to 10K a month. Well, obviously me, because I help them from go beginner to mid-level, so they trust me and they buy me from me further. And so, I don't know, I see this as my way of fucking like, I don't know, conquering the info space. If I can get really good at helping the beginners, I'm going to add so much to this industry. And the thing is, when you add to something, you get back so much. And so, yes, the best way to make money is by helping these best people. But the thing is, like, I just see that as like, you're not actually adding to the info industry that much, really. Because you imagine, like, as an industry, money comes in and then money comes out, The money comes in when people, like, complete. If you look at the industry as, like, one whole big bubble, the money comes into the industry when complete beginners buy. Because when, like, these guys who are already making 10K a month from info, when they buy info products, that's money staying within the info system because they already made their money from info. And so what I'm saying is, when complete beginners, who maybe made their money in a part-time job or savings or some shit like that, buy an info product, that's money coming into the info industry, and the money leaves the info industry when people who sell the info products basically spend their money on other things outside of the info space, if you can imagine that. So What I'm saying is, if I basically control the supply of money coming into the big info space, the big info bubble, then like I'm gonna control the entire thing eventually. Because if all these beginners, like, and I'm thinking a really long time, if all the beginners, okay, like 90% of them, the guys who start out making money in the info space, and I know the info space is huge, I'm just talking about on school here, which is like 5% of the info space, I believe. If all of them come through me, then like I'm gonna control the entire thing because, or 90% of it, because those guys who go from 0 to 3K a month through me, they're gonna basically buy from me to go from 3K to 10K a month. Um, and so, I'll end up just fucking controlling it all. Whereas if I was just to focus on the guys who are already at like 5K a month, then it's like I'm just basically relying on other things to get those guys to already to 5K a month. You see what I mean? I'm looking at a very large scale picture here over the next like years and years and years to come. But of course, you've got to think big to act big. So that's my sort of mindset with a lot of this. That's sort of how I plan to take over the world. And initiate Nazi law over the entire world. What did I just say? I'm kidding, bro. Shit, what was I saying? Yeah, that's, I guess, my sort of greater plan to show you my hand. But the thing is, me saying this, like, no one's, because I'm still at the beginning levels, like, the beginning levels as in relative to the big players. Like, Charlie Morgan isn't going to be watching this video and thinking, oh shit, Sam's going to compete with me, So, me saying this, it really ain't going to make a difference. There's not many, I mean, I guess there are some guys in my position who might see me say this and sort of try and do it themselves. But I'm not convinced that many people are going to see this, and then there's going to be that one guy who tries to compete with me, I don't see that happening, so I'm just happy to sort of show my hand in where I think I'm going to go. And who knows, maybe I'm completely lying and I'm throwing you off of what I'm actually going to do. But, yeah, that's my sort of greater plan, because then with that, it's like, if I'm really good at helping beginners, and I'm the best at helping beginners, and I do that at volume, that just gives me so much fucking leverage to go into YouTube and shit, and go at a much higher volume there. And then, like, if I can help people at volume, like, through getting people through YouTube and shit, and I can make really good videos which actually help people, then, like, that'll build my influence up more. And if I'm good at helping people at volume, and as politics shifts towards people coming from, the online space, influencers and shit getting into politics, instead of politics being a closed space, then like that's going to give me everything I need, I believe, to get into the UK education system and reform the education system. But yeah, I already need this shit, so I'm going to go. But yeah, that's my sort of thoughts right now.